So the dunk was nice.
I'm not moving any line.
The bad news, though, for the Cavs was that they lost again. Since the All-Star break, they're 5-7. It's been over a month since the Cavs have beaten a team that's in playoff position. We just heard LeBron say they really miss Kevin Love. Stephen, do you have a problem with him talking about needing help again?
No, I originally did because of what the reports were saying. Watching him on video answering the question, I had no problem with what he said. He spoke factually. The fact of the matter is they're not the same without Kevin Love, particularly when you don't have Kyrie to lean on anymore and it's just you, LeBron. But I was prepared to come on the air and just basically go off and go like this. Look, man, I sat there and told Kevin Durant, I don't want to hear any whining about how we miss Steph Curry. Get the hell over it. You're a superstar. You're one of the greatest players in the world. It's the regular season. Figure it out. In the case of LeBron James, I certainly wasn't going to let him off the hook. But then if you're asking him a question about how things are different because of the personnel that he doesn't have, and he's articulating what the difference is, I can't hold him accountable for that. He's answering truthfully. They're not the same without Kevin Love. I will say this. You know, one of the things that I was also going to bring up was what Barkley had said, Charles Barkley, where he said, damn, you need everything? But that's if LeBron James was complaining. If he were complaining, I would have an issue. If he's just stating a point in fact, I can't knock that. It is clear they are not the same team without Kevin Love. It is clear that they desperately need Kevin Love back. It is clear that Kevin Love has been undervalued and underappreciated in terms of his contribution to this franchise. He's a 6'9", 6'10" dude who can hit threes better than most and is big enough and skilled enough to play with his back to the basket in the post when necessary. And so when you look at it from that perspective and the fact that they don't have that available to them, that's a huge loss, particularly when you don't have Kyrie. So I didn't have an issue with LeBron saying it because LeBron was answering a question as opposed to complaining about what they were lacking. There's a difference.
Well, first of all, Kevin Love, he is an NBA 6'9", and bare feet he's like a little over 6'7". And that's part of the reason I think LeBron and everybody likes him so much, because he is perceived as a big. I'm telling you, in bare feet, he's 6'7" and a little change. He's been measured. Matter of fact, he'll even tell you if you ask him. But the point is,
we just did a commercial together a few months ago. I was standing right next to him for hours. I think I would know if he's 6'9" and above. I'm telling you, he's 6'9" and above.
Okay, but I'm just talking about what the rule. Okay, I'm telling you what the tape measure says. But listen, the point is that Kevin Love had this reputation as one of the top 5 players in the league because he was the best player on a bad team, and he's an excellent player. And because he's perceived as a big. He's not exactly, but he's perceived as a big who was bombing threes before many other bigs were, like Dirk was, and there weren't too many other guys who were doing that and who could also pass the way he could and his rebounding. So he's perceived as this almost MVP caliber player. When LeBron came back to the Cavs, remember, it's not just that the Cavs had Kyrie, it's that they drafted Andrew Wiggins, and LeBron said, basically, you trade that guy for Kevin Love. Now I can do something. So LeBron thought very highly of Kevin Love, and having played with him, he still obviously recognizes, even if Love's not an MVP caliber player, he's an all-star caliber player. And no one does anything without at least another all-star on their team, particularly when there's really no other sure shot, bona fide, that guy is a starter on a championship team caliber player on the Cavs. There are lots of guys who could be in championship rotations who are on the Cavs, who could be a starter on a championship team because there are like 3 other all-stars on that team, so you can afford to kind of take a bubble starter and make him a starter, have him play a limited role in certain respects, etc. But there's no one. Even like Hood could eventually be a really good player. Right now, he is a starter-ish, kind of maybe just under caliber player, and that's basically everyone else on the team. So if LeBron's asked a question and he gives an honest response, I don't think we can kill him for it. The only guy I can think of, Stephen A., who was in a major media market and every day was asked questions where he could have stepped in it and never did, is Derek Jeter. Like, Andrew Luck is a version of that now. Somehow they're able to say and give you what sounds like a plausible answer, and there's no meat there. There's nothing that the critics can really hook into. LeBron's not that. LeBron will give you a little more honesty and a little something more grist for the mill.
Yeah, I mean, that about sums it up.